the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Mike Palman for the vacationing Paulie Howard this week. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Great guest. How about Nick Bogdanovich in studio today? As he is going to be teaming up with others to introduce a new sportsbook in Las Vegas and in Nevada. He's going to be on the show in 30 minutes, formally right here at Circa.
A couple of years he put in here.
Sure.
And we're excited for his new adventure, obviously, and he'll tell us all about it.
Yeah. Paul Stone, best bets on the AAC in college football in 90 minutes. Back into the program, Uncle Lou Finocchiaro, UFC 317 best bets. We'll get into a little bit of what took place last night with the draft. Obviously, it's been rehashed to death today, but I think DraftKings is offering a couple of fun bets for Cooper Flagg this year we'll talk about. And we'll go heavy with baseball, and it's a busy day card today. In fact, every game is in action with the exception of Atlanta and the Mets. That one starts at 7:10 Eastern time, and coming up in about 30 minutes, I believe. This delay has been going on forever in Minnesota. I believe that's first pitch for the Mariners and the Twins. But there is an absolute doozy going on right now in Houston between the Astros and the Phillies. Great pitching matchup on paper, and it's absolutely lived up to it. How about this? Christopher Sanchez is having a terrific season for the Phillies. ERA on the year, currently, real time, 2.79. He has pitched 6 innings so far in this game. He's allowed 4 hits with 1 earned run. He has struck out 11 Astros, and he's trailing because Hunter Brown has been magnificent yet again. He is through 7 strong, 3 hits allowed, and that's it. 9 strikeouts, 96 pitches. Do they bring him back for the 8th here? He has a 1.74 ERA on the year, and that's your guy. You bet him 20-1 early on?
20-1 on Hunter Brown in mid-May.
So is there anything at this point, we're coming on here at 4 o'clock Eastern time, anything live that you would still look at this game, or have you just been pounding this contest pretty much all day?
I need all versions of the under. So if this game has 3 runs or less, I scoop 4 bets.
You can go over 3.5 right now plus money.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Maybe I should do that. That's my lowest total.
Now, if this does go to Hader, though, at some point, who came into the game yesterday, right? But he's having a terrific season. Now, the Phillies bullpen is the one I think you have to worry about, but this is also going on 3 straight games. Are the Phillies not going to score a run in this whole series?
They stopped scoring in Space City. I mean, you could argue you got Frambert and you got Brown.
Well,
but explain yesterday.
You can't.
I mean, they're like Kansas City. They can't score.
These are supposed to be the days of summertime, right, where the ball is flying out. And we have a stat coming up in about 10 minutes I think will knock your socks off as it happened. Something happened yesterday in baseball 7 times, tying the record for second most ever. And it's happening again today, which is just alarming to me. The Phillies to come back to win this game, they're plus 540. The problem with this is that the Astros bullpen is one of the best in all of baseball. They have a 3.21 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. That's the second best. The Phillies pen on the flip side, they have a 4.63 ERA and a 1.38 WHIP. So I have no interest in betting Philadelphia, a team that suddenly cannot score, to come back and tie this game.
I just took over 3.5 plus 135. Mitch.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, so then you bet before the game under
7.5 and 6.5.
And then you added all
5.5,
other
4.5,
numbers.
3.5 as the game went on.
And this is because you were watching the game and you're like, these pitchers are absolutely elite today. And I don't
striking everybody out to begin with. I mean, Sanchez was a foul tip away from his 12th strikeout before the double let off the bottom of the 7th, and he's done now. So the Phillies are into their pin. But at least I protect the bottom rung there.
Yeah, sure. The Astros just moved to minus 1,000 to win the game. So leadoff double, you said?
Yeah, leadoff double.
Here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Catching up with us right now. This is something with the live betting here. The Rays are playing the Royals right now. And to your point of how Kansas City, I mean, this has been, and I think it was Shane Baz who just got out of it. He did. So he was facing the Kansas City lineup. He was going to go through it for the third time, right? And a couple of guys just got on for the Royals. In fact, the inning went ground out by Bobby Witt, but then it went single. So guys were on first and second with only one out. And the numbers on Shane Baz the third time through the order, 9.39 ERA on the year, 8.36 FIP, 2.09 whip, and a 31+% hard hit rate. I thought maybe it was the time to bet, and then it was lining up that way. But a double play ended the inning, so the Rays move on to the eighth now with a 4-0 lead. And we're talking about like betting this stuff. Maybe you can, bet the specific team to score a run. Like in this case, it would have been the Royals to score a run in that inning because it's a third time through for Baz. He's only at 80 pitches. Would you bring him back out for another inning?
I don't know why not if he's only at 80. He hasn't thrown many high leverage pitches outside of that inning if you followed this game. They got to the lead. He's been pretty comfortable here. I would think you would, although, Cash is going to go on his plan. But this Tampa Bay continues to be cheap road favorite in these games and well worth betting. Again, last night, Rasmussen with a gym.
Yeah, again, he's having a great season. The Cubs are leading the Cardinals right now by a score of 2-0. They're playing in the top of the seventh inning. Cubs opened about $1.35, closed at 140 in that neighborhood. It was Shota Imanaga going today. He went 5 innings. It allowed him to throw 77 pitches, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 Ks, no earned. Great bounce back here from Imanaga coming off the IL. And the Cubs now clinging to that 2-0 lead over St. Louis. Now, with that guy back, by the way, and Michael Boyd, much to your chagrin, was very good again last night for the Cubs.
Night.
Awesome. That's a pretty healthy 1-2 combo, and Taillon hasn't exactly been awful this season for the team either.
Hasn't been great either.
Okay.
They're going to have to add arms here, the Cubs.
Yes.
They're going to need starters. But this is a great sign if Imanaga can come back and replicate anything like that 15-3 campaign he had last year.
Yes, exactly right. And now another game that just started in the last 20 minutes in San Francisco. Miami is leading the Giants by a score of 3-0. They're playing in the top of the second. That's it. They got 3 in the first off of Birdsong. And this Giants pen, as we talked about yesterday, leading into that Logan Webb game, best in baseball. Not exactly last night. Did not go well for the team. They lost. They gave up 8 runs overall in the game and went to extra innings. And they are on the verge of getting swept here by the Marlins, something that I definitely did not see coming. And here's another one for you. Before this series started, the Giants were in play, right there in the mix, to have the most wins in the month of June. Great market that's available here at Circa and a couple of other books. And now falling on their faces like this, and teams like Houston don't lose, they're not even in the conversation anymore.
Well, you would assume they were going to win 2 or 3 games in this series, right?
I think when you made the bet, you were assuming that.
Yeah. The thing early last night was they made Webb work. It was at a high pitch count early in that game, and you saw he couldn't even come out for the 7th there, even though he had only given up the 2 runs, and it was 2-2 at that point.
That's right. Atypical for his performances at home, specifically at night that we talked about quite a bit on the show. And the Dodgers are playing at Coors, and this total moved from 11.5 at some books, closed 12.5 at some, so a full run with the move. It's Kershaw versus Gomber today, and it's a pitching duel. It's 1-1 top of the 5th. Gomber has been fine. 4 hits, 1 earned, 1 K, 1 walk. That's it. They have a home run from Doyle. The Dodgers, basically it's Mookie Betts with an RBI in this game. And Kershaw, you know what? Kershaw's been pretty decent, Mike. Now, is that going to be something that you can rely on once this team makes the playoffs? I would say that feels improbable. But today at Coors, through 4 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned. He allowed that home run to Doyle like I talked about, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the Kershaw we've come to know and love. He's got an xFIP 4.33, right? I mean, when he was the most dominant pitcher in the game over that stretch of years. But certainly the first 3 or 4 starts, he was having trouble getting anybody out.
Right.
And he settled down. And to the point, he's 3-0. He wasn't even saddled with a loss in those games, although his Ks per 9 are about 6.5, so way down off of his career averages. Yamamoto throws 5 shutout innings last night.
Goes to the
and then the rain, so he doesn't come back out. Yep. Our new NFL betting guide comes out on Tuesday, July 1st, and early access means a better shot at spotting value in future markets before the lines move. Now's the perfect time to join with our football special. Yes, that's right. Crazy Bill 80, he's at it again. Listen to this, Mitch. Just $175 for VSiN Pro Access from today through the Super Bowl.
It's a pretty damn good deal.
$175. That's every sport we cover every day at a special early bird price. The sooner sign up, the more you get out of it. Daily Best Bets email that Bill summarizes all the best bets from our expert hosts and guests. Real-time betting splits from Circa and from DraftKings. Live or on demand, watch the shows on VSiN and all the analytics tools that we offer. Go to vsin.com/subscribe now and lock in Bill 80's football special for just $175. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Yeah, that pro betting guide coming out on July 1st is going to look super sharp when you take a peek at that. A lot of information, tons of bets, and a lot of the stuff will absolutely move between now, then, and the end of July, when people are starting to make a lot of the bets.
We're seeing win totals move already.
Sure, you said that yesterday you had to move the Vikings their
8.5
regular
to
win.
9.5.
Yeah, and the Broncos to win the division came. You started plus 450
down to 350.
Yeah, pretty decent move there. All right, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, I will tell you what happened again yesterday, 7 times in Major League Baseball, tied for the second most in a single day in the history of the sport. And we'll get into the Braves-Mets game coming up a little bit later on tonight. The favorite flipped in the game. Does Mike agree with the line move? We'll ask him next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Mike, part of the discussion this year with Major League Baseball is that the ball itself is actually a little bit dead. Cal Raleigh would argue. Ohtani, I think, would say, no, I'm just fine with the baseball. Judge, maybe a couple of others. But in general, balls that usually could have been like leaving the park in some of these areas, some of these ballparks across the country were not getting there this year. Home runs, the rate's not exactly as high as people thought, I think, coming into the season. And as a result, this really caught my attention yesterday. Sarah Langs, great follow on X, tweeted out that 7 different teams got shut out yesterday. 7. That's tied for the second most on a single day in Major League Baseball history. It's happened exactly 7 times. 11 times overall where teams got shut out 7 times on the same day. First time since 2015. The most was in early June of 1972 when they had 8. So it happened 7 times yesterday. 2 games are in the books today. The Guardians were blanked by Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays. And by the way, Cleveland took money. And that moved, I want to say, good 30 cents today on the Guardians. And the Tigers got a little bit of revenge today against the A's. They and a little bit of money, I think, came in on the A's today. Tigers opened $1.60. They closed around 145. They blanked the A's by a score of 8-0. So 7 team shutouts yesterday, 2 today. I don't know if these are going to hold or not. It feels a little unlikely. But right now, Philly getting blanked in the 8th. Do they have runners on the corners right now?
First and third, 1 out.
Okay. They should probably get a run here.
Possible.
In this inning. Kansas City's getting blanked right now in the 9th. They're playing in the bottom of the 7th in St. Louis. The Cardinals have no score.
The only game of the 8, there's 9 games and 1 is tonight. Feast or famine with Manfred.
Right.
The only game of the 8 that we know there won't be a shutout is Colorado, where it's 1-1. Every other game has a team that has no runs.
Right, and the Giants are playing. Yes, the Giants are playing in the 2nd.
Uh-huh.
They don't have a run yet. It's early.
Cardinals are in the 7th without a run.
Yeah, that's right.
The Rays are in the 8th or about to go to the 9th without a run. So, and the Phillies are in the 8th, but they have first and third. But you got 3 games late where teams are getting shut out as well.
Right. So it could, in theory, it could happen 5 times. By the way, on a truncated card today.
9 games.
That's pretty remarkable stuff right there.
It's if you got 5, it would actually be a much bigger percentage than the 9 out of 15 yesterday.
That's right.
So it's pretty amazing. I wasn't even thinking about that, Mitch, that there were 7 yesterday. If you would have asked me, I'd have said 4 or 5. I wasn't.
Yeah, because I was, paying attention to a little bit of baseball last night and on X when that came across. And I was like, is that right? Really? It doesn't feel like that's actually the case. And then you go down and look, and I think a lot of the stuff came in a little bit later on in the night.
It did. Twins shut out to break the losing streak. They shut out Seattle. DeGrom took a perfect game into the 7th and a no-hitter into the 8th.
Yep.
They shut out Texas. Your guy Lopez, who you hit the strikeout prop yesterday, they shut out Detroit. And then Detroit returned the favor today.
I will point this out, by the way. So at VSiN, again, we talked about this yesterday with the new relationship here with ballparkpal.com. They have great projections over there. And they were super strong on Lopez to go over the, 5.5 Ks at plus money. They actually liked him over 4.5 Ks. But they projected him for higher than 6. That got there. Some of the other stuff was strong yesterday as well. Today, the guy that they were on the most was Hunter Brown, over at a plus price. And is he out of the game now?
Yes.
Did they take him out going into the 8th?
Yeah, after 7.
So he had 9 strikeouts today. And he went way over his total then.
And the game is tied now. Sacrifice fly for the Phillies. So there's one shutout down the tubes. That game now at 1-1.
So now, and you're looking now where you might actually middle it with the one you might lose.
No, what I'm looking at is I
3.5.
lose them all in extra innings with this idiotic
Oh, don't say that.
automatic runner. It's not really a ghost runner. This automatic runner.
Right. Well, that's certainly possible the way the stuff goes in baseball once they go to extras.
Just give me 2-1 and I'll be happy. Even 3-1, I still split out on the last one.
Yep. And I will say that, again, become a VSiN member today, vsin.com/subscribe. You can check out all of these brand new strikeout projections, Yerfy reports, weather reports as well. A guy that they're high on tonight is Grant Holmes, over 5.5 strikeouts. So the projections there look like that would be a positive. And he has K'd 6+ batters in 7 out of 15 starts. Now, he had that game against Colorado that was clearly the outlier when he had 15 in that game. But overall, he's been solid striking out batters, on the season. The problem is the Mets don't strike. It's a tough team to K, right? As we've seen now for pretty much most of the year. And it's the only game that we have going on tonight. And the Braves opened up minus 120. Mets are currently favored. Total was 9, down to like 8.5 with that number anyway. Do you agree here with the Mets taking money and becoming the favorite?
I actually bet the Mets at 105.
Okay.
I thought it was a nice spot here for Canning. I think he's pitched pretty well this year, and maybe the Mets are coming out of this funk a little bit, and we get some regression to the mean. I wish I could have got it at a plus price, but I still got it midway through the move.
Sure. Well, Juan Soto with 2 dingers last night. He's been hot. Last 7 days, he's batting .348 with 5 home runs overall, including 8 RBIs and 6 runs scored. Holmes is 4-6 on the year. He's pitched 85 innings. He has, I'd say, decent numbers. I'm not going to call him great. It's an ERA of 3.71. The FIP is almost 4.5. The Ks per 9 really jump off the page. It's about 10.3. But he also walks quite a few batters at 4.13 walks per 9 overall. He has been, now the outs prop tonight is 16.5 for Grant Holmes. He's been over that number in 10 out of 15 starts. Under 4.5 hits, which is the prop tonight, in 9 out of 15, and over 2.5 walks in 7 starts so far in the year.
I still need to wrap my mind around it, how to attack the hits props more. As we talked about yesterday, that 6.5 with the Giants was the only prop that would have hit.
With him?
Yeah.
Yep.
With all the different ways we looked at the outs props, we looked at the earned run props, which was 1.5. That didn't get there because he gave up 2 Logan Webb. But he would have got there with the hits, but you would have had to lay the juice was up to 170.
It was a 175 near the end of the show. Another one, too, Logan Webb to record a victory. Nope, no good. So everything was either a loser or under for him other than So that was a weird performance last night. As you said, they made him labor early on in that game. Canning on the flip side tonight for the Mets, 7-3. That's over 73 innings pitched on the season, a 3.91 ERA. Again, nice numbers, not amazing, not awful by any stretch. And some other players who have been kind of red hot here for, the Braves will go Ronald Acuna, right? He has bounced back after the injury in a tremendous way. Last 7 days, he's batting .360 with 10 runs scored. a home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. He's been even better over the last 2 weeks, batting .455 with 4 home runs, 3 doubles, and 19 runs scored in the last 15 days for him. That's an awesome rate. And Brandon Nimmo for the Mets last 15 days, if you're looking at some of these player props, right? Over total bases, maybe if you want to do the hits, runs, and RBI prop over 1.5. Last 15 days for Nimmo, 18 of 53, 5 home runs, 8 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 8 runs scored. Mike, I was looking at potentially getting down on the Braves to win this division. They have the 11th most difficult schedule remaining. It's early to look at this stuff with 3 months to play. The Mets have the 9th most difficult schedule. They play the Phillies 7 times still, the Brewers and the Padres 6 times, among others. And the Phillies have the 14th most difficult schedule on the season. I think it's going to be too difficult for the Braves to overcome both these teams.
How many games back are they?
I think it was recently double digits.
I still think it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs, Mitch, to be honest with you. I just think you dig this hole, and they've been bad in one-run games. I get it, maybe they'll be healthy. But look, the starting pitching has been disappointing. Strider, certainly.
Yeah.
So it would take for me to say for them to win the division, I would need 14, 15 to 1.
Yeah, and the number did come down. It was I saw 30 to 1 like last week before I even considered anything like this. And I think that number obviously has vanished now. But look at this. We're seeing 17 to 1 maybe at DraftKings on it. They're 9.5 games back. If it was one team to overcome, okay. But both teams?
Well, the Phillies are not scoring. The Mets just went, They went 1-9 in the stretch. So they've made up a little bit of ground here to even get back into the conversation. But we'll see. They have the pedigree, and they've been there.
Miami up now over the Giants 5-0 top of the third.
Wow, they must just hit a home run. They did.
And here you go. The Dodgers, 2 runners on, nobody out, tied with Colorado, 1-1 in the top of the 6th. So, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, Sports Gambling Hall of Famer, longtime Las Vegas odds maker, Nick Bogdanovich, going to join the program. He's part of the team opening up a brand new sportsbook in Las Vegas, non-casino owned. We'll ask him about what bettors can expect and if they plan on opening up across the country. Next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Big news this week here in Las Vegas and the state of Nevada. A new sports book. Welcome in the Director of Trading for Boomer Sportsbook, Nevada's only non-casino owned sports betting operation. Satellite books will be at a couple of different locations here across the city down the road. Nick Bogdanovich here on the program. Good to see you, Nick. How are you?
Good to see you guys. I'm doing good. Doing good.
Okay, so then take us through this whole process of you were here at Circa, obviously, and now you're going to be helping up, teaming with others to open up this brand new sports book. And it is unique because, as I mentioned, it's the only non-casino owned sports betting operation that you're going to find in this state.
Yeah, no. I was here for Circa for 3 years, almost 3 years. I missed the guys a lot. I just text Glenn and Sam in the room saying I'm down here. Don't grab me. But yeah, no, they're got a great crew here at Circa. Circa is, I think the number one book in the state of Nevada, which means I think there's the number one book in America. So we won't get into the minuses and pluses of each book, but you won't find a bigger fan of Circa than Nick Bogdanovich. But yeah, as far as my new gig goes, let's face it, there's not many outs in the state of Nevada. I mean, William Hill / Caesars has about 70 properties, MGM 20, Stations 20, Circa 3 or 4, So it'll be a fresh set of numbers people can bet into. And, the one thing I can guarantee you, it'll be a good product. I'll put out fair pricing and good markets, and any future book will have a nice hold percentage. So Joe Asher, I don't know why he wanted to come out of retirement. Maybe he sees an opening, but he wants to get involved and try to start up a new company in the state of Nevada. And as we both know, startup companies in general, they're the dog to survive anyway, in any industry, in any form. So we'll be up against it, but we'll try like heck to get it done.
Here's one of Asher's quotes yesterday that came out. He said, "We are putting the band back together with some new pieces, like the Eagles at the Sphere. The old guys are teaming up with the younger folks." End of quote. What do you think that means?
He's got. Me and Joe worked together at William Hill from 2012 to 2021, and he's got quite a few department heads from that regime at Boomers. That's the name of the book. Dave Grohlman, who's in charge of retail, he's there. Debonique, who's in charge of HR, is there. Adam Pullen, who's my number 2 and a really sharp kid, he's there. So we got a lot of good pieces in place. So the foundation is laid. Now we just got to get the job done.
Your flagship property will be Ellis Island as part of their casino expansion. Is that correct?
That's correct. I visited it yesterday. What a job they're doing over there. So I know
Place looks
Gary Ellis has been a great locals operator forever. He owns all the Village pubs, and Ellis Island is really it's really a great joint. So hopefully that'll be one of many.
So it's going to be there, Valley Verde Casino in Henderson.
Right.
When you say one of many, like what is the goal overall? And is it going to be like going up to Reno right away as well?
Right. Well, obviously going to try. But everyone's got deals in place, and maybe they have happy partnerships, maybe they don't. But obviously the key, 95% of the business is done on the app anyway. So you just got to try to make it easy for people to sign up, get locations for people to sign up.
Is the goal then to go beyond Nevada at some point? Do you guys want to go national?
You know what? That I don't know of, but maybe Joe has that in mind. But I as of now, I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah, I don't want you to speak for Joe, but the question I had, and we knew a little bit ahead of time before the story broke what was happening. What is the niche that you guys see out there, maybe that isn't being filled, that Boomers is going to specialize in or can fill?
I just think another book that offers a good product, and it always goes back to pricing. So I think that will always be in play. That will always attract a certain part of the betting sector out there. So I don't think you can ever have enough outs. And let's face it, numbers matter. They fall all the time. So we're going to have a different set, and I think people will like that.
Some might say now William Hill has fallen under the Caesars umbrella, right? It's no longer an independent line, and you and Joe had success at William Hill, obviously, right? I mean, you had 30% of the right in the state. It's a pretty big accomplishment in the state of Nevada. Are these guys just going to run back their William Hill game plan?
Don't know that. I don't know that. But Joe's a very smart man, and what he has in plans for the future, we have to get him on this show and grill him. But when he made the offer to me, I was already in a good spot, so I was playing with house money. But I got a great deal, and he made it sound like a big challenge, and it is a challenge, and I'm looking forward to a challenge. I'm 63 years young, and I've never opened up a book from the ground floor, so it's something I've never done, and I'm looking forward to it. We've been interviewing people, and it's going to be a small team to begin with, and I'm interviewing all these young kids who are trying to be bookmakers/traders, and it's exciting to sort of put a team together from the jump and just get some personalities that fit yours.
I think some of the national books, since they became legal, obviously they've had this approach of offering gigantic menus on every sport and pretty much every single game, and that kind of maybe not forced Nevada books to do that, but they opened up their eyes, I think, a little bit. Said, well, maybe we start offering a little bit more. Will it be a combination, you think, of offering a fair price and fair number, like you said, you're going to offer a really good, like the hold's going to be really, really good overall for the better to bet into future markets with as well. but you're going to take big bets on these games along with the menu that might be expanded as well?
Well, the menu will definitely be big. My number 2, Adam, he likes a big menu, and I'll have to rein him in sometimes saying we don't need all the stuff. It's sort of like the Super Bowl props. When we started out, there was 10, then there was 20, then there was 40, then there was 400, and now you're trying to beat the next guy, so you go to 500. But the props 401 through 500 are garbage. They're just a filler. I'm hoping not, but that is the name of the game right now. When you look at the big four, it's just mass content, and obviously to stay in the game with them, you got to have a lot of content. I don't know necessarily you need that much content, but it's definitely, the menu will be a good sized betting menu.
And the goal is then to create all of the numbers that you're going to be offering in-house?
I think it'll be a combination of in-house and feeds, so it'll be divvied up.
How is the live betting going to be, you think? Because circa here, that you can't bet anything live unless there's a commercial break going on.
It'll be feed driven.
Okay.
So the in play.
This is exciting.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. I mean, like I said, it's the good thing is we're going to be opening up right when football starts, and football's fun regardless what's going on. So it'll be, end of baseball and start of football, and catch the Ryder Cup and Bud Crawford and Canelo. So we're opening at a good time.
Enough shop talk. You're a voracious college basketball fan.
Yep.
Your numbers on college basketball are always very sharp. Anything surprise you about the draft last night?
No, I didn't follow it too much, but not at all. But my mind doesn't translate what the NBA GM personnel see and what I watch on the college for. Like Walter Clayton. I mean, are you telling me that Coward from Washington State went 11 and Walter Clayton, who was single-handedly took him to the national championship, goes 18th? That doesn't make any sense to me. I've seen both kids play. I mean, obviously they're both really good players, but everything's in the NBA draft is on the come. What will they look like in 2 years, 3 years? And let's face it, they flame out a lot of times. I mean, they get so many wrong, it's not even funny, but I'd be horrible at that job, I guess, because I don't understand it year in and year out. I just don't get it. Kids who are 19 years old and averaging 7 points on a European team go number 4 overall. I mean, it's crazy to me.
I couldn't believe Carter Bryant was talked about top 10. I mean, Tommy Lloyd didn't even trust him with the ball at Arizona, and he ended up going 14, but it blew my mind. He's a first-round pick.
Every year, there's 10 of the 30 blow my mind. I just can't even believe that what they see. I mean, but like I said, I'd make a horrible GM, or maybe I'd make a good GM.
Right? Yes. Well, there you go. That's the new director of trading over at Boomer Sportsbook. It's going to be Nevada's only non-casino-owned sports betting operation here in the city, and you're going to be opening up around football season.
Yeah, we'll be open August 1st for business.
Got to come in person to sign up, or is it going to be a mobile sign up? Or
yeah, you got to come into a joint and sign it up.
I think is that Nevada? Is that
yes,
the Nevada rule?
That's
is
the
you
rule.
can't do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, thanks for coming in, obviously, and best of luck starting up this whole brand new book, which is very exciting. And thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, guys. And I plan on being a regular on your show with you and Paulie if you'll still have me.
Very good, very good. There you go, Nick Bogdanovich, now the director of trading for a new sports book called Boomers. Up next, we'll go over what happened last night in the NBA. I think there's a 100-to-1 shot that's intriguing to win Rookie of the Year.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Reaction here to what took place last night in the NBA draft. I did question whether or not the top 5 was going to go exactly the way the odds were showing, because the top 5, in fact, the top 6 picks all turned into odds on. Yesterday, the first 4 got there, and then number 5, this is at a couple of minutes before the draft actually started. Jeremiah Fears was still plugged as a minus 175 favorite to go 5th overall. Trey Johnson was plus 425. Ace Bailey was lingering out there at plus 425 as well. And that's what happened. The Jazz decided to go with him.
And meanwhile, I thought that would happen. Remember, I said, but
Yes.
then Fears would go 6th, but no. Washington took the guard from Texas, and he went 7th. So I would have been wrong to bet it that way anyhow, but I was right about who went 5th. And meanwhile, the kid was mad that Utah drafted him, right? He wanted to stay in the East. He wanted to be with Washington or Brooklyn. Or I don't know if you're a Utah fan, if that offends you at all, but he's going to get a lot of the ball. I mean,
he'll be
right. I mean,
yes, absolutely. And he's 10-1, by the way, to win Rookie of the Year. Here's the thing: Cooper Flagg is minus $2.
Were you surprised by that number? First of all, I thought it would come out steeper than that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I thought he'd be more like $350.
Wembanyama was minus 145, I think, to open. And I know you guys got the plus money on him at some point throughout that season.
But remember, we put him up against the field at one point,
That's
too.
right.
And then, what was it? 2 months in, he was a plus price against the field.
That's right. And then
because Holmgren had such a great start, too.
Sure. And then Wembanyama stayed healthy eventually. Mm-hmm. And then he was playing unbelievable basketball at that point, and that went from plus 110 against the field to, before you could blink, it was minus $6, and then it was completely unbettable after that. But so this kid's opening up high. You thought what, $3?
I thought he would be $3.
Wow.
Well,
really?
he's the slam dunk generational, right?
He's more than likely going to win. Ben Simmons opened up plus 150. He eventually did win. Now this kid is, to me, way better than Ben Simmons is ever going to turn out to be. But Ben Simmons coming out of LSU was a very highly regarded prospect, and he was not even odds on to win it. But is there something there with Bailey going to Utah where he could be focused in this offense quite a bit at 10-1, where that could be a live bet?
I think Trey Johnson could be a live bet at 12-1 too.
Sure.
When they go to these really bad teams, they're going to get a ton of the ball. But the thing I think about Flagg is because Kyrie's going to be missing a large portion of the year. He's going to get a lot of. He's going to be able to rack up a lot of stats, right?
Yes.
If Kyrie was healthy, I would say if these were the odds and Kyrie was healthy, I would probably want to take a shot at something 10-1 or higher. But he's going to get a lot of playing time and a lot of points and rebounds with Kyrie not in the lineup.
Well, to pay off the tees, here's the guy that
100-1. You said
again. Very unlikely that something like this would cash, but I will tell you that I think there's going to be a path where this kid can get some pretty significant playing time. And I loved his game overall anyway in college basketball. And the player is Nick Clifford.
Nick Clifford?
Nick Clifford, yes, from Colorado State. I was blanking on his last name there for a second. My apologies. Here's the reason why. Reports were coming into the draft saying that they could blow it up, and DeMar DeRozan might get traded, Domantas Sabonis might get traded. The latter there has since corrected. From what I was reading this morning, the plan is to keep Sabonis and run it back with him one more time. However, many reports are saying that DeMar DeRozan could be on the move at some point. Michael Scotto, Hoops Hype, he said rival NBA executives are monitoring the Kings trio of LaVine, Sabonis, and DeRozan. It's believed at least one of them could be gone this offseason. And this report also came out that Zach LaVine, the team's not going to give him an extension beyond this year. He's 30 years old. So I think there's a path here where DeRozan might be gone, I don't know, this offseason. They might be complete sellers by the deadline. And then Nick Clifford's going to be playing enough anyway with this team, you would think. And if that happens, I just think that guy can fill up the stat sheet almost every single game when he's going to get that opportunity. And again, do I expect 100-1 to cash? Absolutely, under no circumstance. But that might be a fun one to kind of because you're not going to bet Cooper Flagg $2 right now.
No, nobody will.
No. And I think that's probably part of the lining him there as well. Books don't even want to take bets on the guy. And I don't blame them.
So let's go through your scenario, and you bet $100 on Nick Clifford.
Okay.
What's the scenario where you can monetize it? That it gets late in the year and it's only him and one other guy that are in the running? I mean, doesn't that sort of have to, if he's with two other guys, is that enough at 101 to be able to take a few other shots there and still lock up some money?
I will say this, injuries do happen, right? I'm going to guess that, as we were talking about with Nick Bogdanovich, most of the players taken last night, most might be a strong word, but double-digit players are not going to have an impact in year number one. I don't know, Clifford might be one of those players, right? But at least there might be an angle here. You would, maybe an injury or something, but you would basically have to get it down to where he is completely playing anything above expectations for anybody, right? What they're going to have for that kid going into the year. And then Flag's going to have to, I guess, be struggling a little bit. It's not going to come as easy as people think. And it probably comes down to those two, and Flag might be minus $3 or something like that.
Or he gets hurt.
Or something like that.
Yeah, well, it could happen.
Yeah, right. So where 100 to 1 might turn into 10 to 1. And then it's just a fun ticket. Nothing I would go bonkers with.
Did you think any team made an immediate impact on your team where you think the draft did, where you say, I now think this team has a shot, I'm going to play some future bets on it?
Well, not enough to make any future bets, but I will admit that it's weird what the Suns did, adding two different bigs like that, Malawach from Duke, and then also trading for Mark Williams. I can't, in my brain, figure out how that's going to work. Clearly, they can't play at the same exact time, but that's a pretty decent start. But do I want to bet them to win the West or their division? Absolutely, under no circumstance. I also liked what Charlotte did, eventually landing McNeely to go along with Kneppel. But again, what am I going to do? Plug away at the Hornets to win the East at 250 to 1?
You think that Dallas will be in the mix to go to the West Finals? Do you think Dallas is a top 4 team, has the ability to be a top 4 or 5 team in the West, in a loaded West?
If Cooper Flag is as good as what everybody thinks, and they can, forget steady the ship. If they can be good until Kyrie gets back, why can't they? Zach
Cohen was on the radio show this morning with me. By the way, he's a terrific interview. You just got to dig a little bit to get beyond the 10-word answer. He took some Dallas at 40 to 1.
To win the West, or?
He thinks they're very, very live, and that they're being overlooked. So he's very high on Dallas, and thinks that Flag's landing in a really good spot for him.
Well, they have a lot of good players. If they can come back and actually be all healthy at the same exact time, it's a damn good team.
At the same time, he bet Ace Bailey at 10 to 1.
He did bet him?
Yeah, because he thinks he's just going to have so much control of the ball and an opportunity on. He said, let's face it, both Washington and Utah, they don't have a lot of parts. These guys are landing on teams where they're going to have to do a yeoman's part of the work.
That's right. The usage rate, I think, for Bailey could be extremely high. Now, this is a bet, right, that I think there is a path here with Cooper Flag. DraftKings is offering, they have an entire page on Cooper Flag specials. What do you think about this one? Flag to average 18-plus points per game in his rookie year, and the Mavericks to win the Southwest Division. They have to beat out the Rockets, obviously, are going to be very good next year. The Spurs are in that division, the Grizzlies and the Pelicans.
Forget the Pelicans. I think the market overreacted to the Rockets. I don't know that KD is the guy that's going to deliver you to the promised land as an offensive player anymore. I think the Grizzly might be better than we think. I don't hate it. I think he'll get to the point total.
Oh, you think
you just have to average, right? You have to average, whether he plays half a season or not.
Yep.
It's an average points per game.
Well, that's true. I don't know what the fine print would be on that.
Is there a qualifier? Does he play 2 games and he hits 20 and 20 and gets hurt and they win the division? I think it pays, doesn't it?
I will expand on that, by the way, coming up a little bit later on in the show, because I think the list of players to average 18 points per game in the rookie season will blow you out of the water.
Before the line moves, the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com is already there. They don't chase the market, they move it. You are not going to outmuscle billion-dollar sports books or full-time professional bettors on your own, but with the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, the Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors rely on. You'll get free betting reports, real-time alerts, and market-moving insights, all delivered right to you via email or X. And this isn't some overnight startup. The Sharp Plays has a documented track record going back to 2011 with receipts, public logs, and results right there on the site. SharpPlays.com, trusted by pros, watched by the books. Check them out now at SharpPlays.com.
All right, we have a lot of action going on right now in Major League Baseball. 3 games are still being played, but I will tell you this. He did it again. Damn, this guy. He's so good. And would you look at that? The Marlins and Giants are tied. That did take long.
5-5?
Yeah.
Oof.
5-0 turns into 5-5 before you can blink. All that coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.